Okay, so answer question 1. Put in your answer so we can have a feel of how the class is answering. Then we go through, okay? It's good to know how your classmates are also answering. And like I said in my earlier class, some of you attended, it's like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. You are trying to help somebody to get the right answer. So the majority must get the right answer. There will be a minority who do not get the right answer. And if that becomes a majority, then that question is really difficult and I have to go through the questions in more detail. If a lot of people are getting it wrong. And if there are two answers that are getting the vote very close, then it's even more critical that I address why those two answers are close and many of you are choosing one over the other instead of a unanimous answer that only leads to one answer. Okay, so let's go. This class is slightly smaller than the earlier, so I will wait for like in answers, which is 3/4 of the class. In answers, then I will end the poll, which is right now. So the overall answer looks like it's D from the class, but the answer is not D, it's A. So there is another 5 of you. So can you see from the results that only 5 got it right? And it's not 7 who got it wrong, it's 11 who got it wrong. 11 people got this question wrong, and this is forces. And I don't know how many of you are on P6. If you're on P6, you should be getting things right at this stage of your life in July, 2 months away from PSLE. If you are not, P5s, don't worry, you got a little bit more time. So please take the time the next 1 year to learn and make sure you cut out these mistakes that the P6 are doing. You can see that, hey, how come the P6 don't know the answer? That means at P6 next year, I also will have trouble. So I better learn my science such that I don't make mistakes. So you have to, it's good that you are already making an effort to attend the live class first. Okay. So shall we go through why the answer is A? Answer is D, sorry. Answer is D, sorry. My mistake. So answer is D, but still the poll shows a very close number, right? So 7 correct and 9 wrong. Still more people got it wrong. So that's the issue over here. Let me close this and answer why it is D and not A. Okay, why is it D and not A? So let's go back to the options. So you got a confusion between A and D. And that confusion only comes about for this letter C, right? So do we have to include C or not? Studied activities, which of these activities show that? Okay, why am I doing question 2? Sorry guys. Question 1. A and D. Again, the culprit is the C. So answer was D, right? So C must be included. A worker is using a drill as shown below. Which of the following statement about the drill are true? So there are at least, that's why there's a R, right? Where, which of the following statement are? There are, can you see in the question, next time we must use your English also. There are, sometimes they'll put is, are. Then they'll be put, that means they must have A only as the answer because it can be just one statement that's correct. But here, since all the statements have at least 2, you can see A, B, A, C, B, C, A, B, C. So that's why they don't have to put is, are here. They put are straight away because there are at least 2. It's a plural already. So which of the following statements, at least 2 of them, are true? No need to put is, are true. So this is for you to learn. When they put this, they don't know is it one or many. So they will give you this option. Do not feel threatened by this kind of phrasing because it's just a way of examining so that we give the students a chance to choose 1 or 2 or 3. But when there is no 1, then there's only 2 or 3, then we just straight to R. Okay, understood? Okay, P rotates when Q is rotated. A force has to be applied to make Q move. When Q is rotating, a frictional force opposes its motion. Because there's contact between the two, right? Because there's contact. Frictional force is when there is contact and something is trying to move. These two must be correlation. You are trying to move and you are contacting onto something. So that friction will try to oppose your motion. So when you oppose the motion because of the contact surface will oppose the motion. And that is what we call friction. So there is contact or not? Is the screw in contact or no contact? There is contact. Is it trying to move or no? It's trying to move. So when they're trying to move, there is friction or no? Yes, there's friction. Okay, so when it's rotating, there's movement. It's trying to, so that's why it's like hard to move, right? So the screw has to do work against the friction. Okay, if you turn right, the friction is left. If you try to walk, the friction is towards your back. It's trying to force you to slow down. So that's the frictional work of the frictional force. So far, so clear, right? So the drill, P is the drill and Q is the rotating handle is just part of the answer. That's just the part of the explanation. It's just explanation. Start, okay? But I have to continue. So I left it blank. So what happens is A is true. How to do A is true, B is true, and C is true. A is true, B is true, C is true. Because okay. So A and B very straightforward. I've already answered. Okay, so it's up to you to fill it up. When I send the answers over to you to download from tomorrow, you will have the full answers anyway. Okay. So meanwhile, you can think about what can be filled up in this. Anyway, this is MCQ. And like I said, the reason why I like to have a explanatory answer at the back is so that you can write down the answer if you're asked to write in a section B or a booklet B. Understand? Now we go to question 2, which also quickly I asked you to answer, but there was no poll. See the activities in the diagram below. Which of the below activities show that friction is useful? Again, we talk about friction, and friction is one of the forces that we study in primary syllabus. Okay, what are the other forces? There are 4 forces that we need to know. What are the other forces? You can type out in the chat to me directly so that it does not spam other people. I've just made the chat a private chat that only I can see. So those of you who need to type to let out your answers, you can type. Then I will just write it down as you type. Those who are sharing with me, I will write as you type. So magnetic, there's a gravitational force, which we can short form it to call gravity, but it's also called gravitational force. So if you ask to write it as a type of force, you can write gravitational force, or you can call it gravity. You can say magnetic force, or you can write magnetism, okay? Or frictional force, or you can call it friction. So there are short forms to it. Don't get confused, both are the same. What's the last one?
Elastic spring force.
Very good. I'm writing it down. Some of you at this point in life, you are in P6 and you still don't know these 4. These 4 has been emphasized to you since P3, no, since P4, the time when you learn magnetic force. And then you learn gravity and elastic spring force. These are the type of 4 forces that you always need to keep in your mind, because when you test force, these are the 4. Okay, clear? So, but here we are only focusing on friction. So therefore, they're asking you in which of these diagrams friction plays a role or is useful. Maybe if it's not useful, then cannot. When you try to put a pen down on paper, if the pen is slipping away from the paper, you cannot write. So friction needs to be useful in writing and drawing. Friction needs to be useful in cutting a saw. If it doesn't rub against it, then how will it cut it? So in sawing. And in climbing up a slope, you cannot hold on to it if what is it? You cannot hold on to it if you keep slipping, right?